Hey, welcome to Pitchside yet again. Thank you so much for always taking your time to check out our content on YouTube, giving us feedback, and definitely giving us your opinions about the content we share. I usually take a second to appreciate everyone and tell you guys out there that that is what keeps us going. So, keep sending in your feedback, keep subscribing. You who is watching us right now, you only need half a second to join Pitchside on YouTube with Tabo Peter. Please subscribe, and after that, we'll be one happy big family. Today is an extremely special day on Pitchside because the guest we have today is one so many Ugandans want to hear speak because of his position in Ugandan football. For 2 years, the Uganda Cranes have been under the stewardship of one gentleman. He's put up quite such a good performance, including, of course, guiding the Cranes back to the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time since 2019. He also built a formidable squad that competed at the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. And of course, definitely one of quite a number of fans. Here at Pitchside, we are extremely excited to have the Uganda Cranes head coach, Mr. Paul Joseph Put, join us on the show. Welcome, coach.
Welcome, Peter. Thank you for this invitation.
So, coach, how are you? How is the hot Kampala treating you? I think that's where we should start from.
Yes, Kampala is treating me very well. Unfortunately, I don't have much time to profit of Kampala because I'm too busy with the work. But anyway, I'm very happy and very pleased with the people. They are very nice with me. They are very gentle, polite, so it gives me a good feeling.
All right. How has it been for you since you came in as Cranes coach? Let's start from there because not very many were accustomed to you, especially on the African continent. But when you came in and signed for the Cranes, how has it been thus far?
Well, I think it was not that easy because I think in 1 week later when I signed, I had to coach for World Cup in Morocco against Guinea. So that was not easy because you don't know all the players. Of course, I was contacted by the president of FIFA before, so I made a little bit my homework to have a view about the players, the games we have been playing before. So, but it was not that easy, but I think we did it wonder well. We did a good job. As when I see 2 years ago and now, I think we made a lot of improvements. I don't say that we are reached on the highest level, but there's still a lot of work to do. But I'm quite happy about the evaluation.
All right. Before you put pen to that paper to become Cranes head coach, what was your knowledge prior about the Cranes? Do you have any information? Did you relate in any way with the Cranes? There someone that you'd spoken to apart from those you spoke to give you the job before you came?
No, not really, because it was a very short time. I was at that moment in Congo.
Yeah.
So then I came in contact with the president, and then the time went fast to come over to Uganda and then to sign. But it was very short that the president he had made his homework very well, because he was texting me and telling me things, the results that I have been doing before. So he was very informed. Very well informed.
Oh, okay. When you took over, one of the things that everyone was looking forward to was a World Cup qualification campaign with the Cranes. At that time, the Cranes were in Group G with Algeria, Mozambique, Guinea, Botswana, and Somalia. And you've mentioned just earlier on that when you came in, you had to head straight into the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Before that ball was kicked, Coach Paul Put, did you think that your team would show up and put up such a performance that they put up?
Yeah, of course not. You hope. You have always the hope. And I was very close when I was in Burkina Faso. I played playoff to to participate World Cup in Brazil. So it was I was only a few minutes away from it. So you always have this dream, you always have this ambition as a coach, and you never know in football. But I think we are a little bit unlucky because I think we should could make it if we had not lost some of our games, and then we have to see a little bit to ourselves. I think we did some individual mistakes, but it can happen with the best players. But unfortunately, it has been costing us points. But if I do the review, I think we could be very, very close. And then also, I think the game in Algeria, we have to be honest, I don't think the referee was on his high level.
All right, coach. Let's get to. Of course, you've mentioned the last game for the Cranes was against Algeria in the World Cup qualifiers. Solid performance from the team. You collected 18 points overall. What do you think was the driving factor for the team to put up such a show at the World Cup qualifiers? Because you really have to go way back, if anything, to remember a campaign that had such wins and such a performance from the national team, like the one you had in the just concluded qualifiers. What was the driving factor in your team to perform well?
Yes, when I started with the Uganda Cranes, I think I was very clear concerning the rules, the discipline, the ambition that I had as coach, but also that I wanted that my players had the same intention. So I think we were very open to each other, and I think we have been bringing a system who made the players a little bit comfortable. And also, you saw the progress in training sessions, the way they behave. We became a family. We became like friends. We appreciated. We had a lot of respect. The discipline was there. So I think that was a good starting point, and that we always continue to do. And then I think also the players, they growed, they had the belief. And I always told the players, in football you never know, we have to believe, we have to see for ourselves, and then we will see where we're going to strength. But I give them also not that I like too much to talk about me, what I've been doing in the past, but I give this also this example with Burkina Faso. So we started with a losing game, and then at the end we finished up, and we were in playoffs against Algeria also. So therefore, it was a little bit hard for me. I lost with Burkina Faso, and now I lost with Uganda. But still, I'm very proud of the boys because they have been working very hard, and they were very disciplined, and we have been doing everything on training ground, what we have been showing, the way we would like to play, what we has to bring, because I think at that moment, I think the football was a little bit down in Uganda. Supporters were not that happy. Didn't came to the stadium. So, and I had the same situation in Burkina Faso. So I told the players we have to do everything possible, and I think we were quite successful in this upset.
Coach, you mentioned Burkina Faso a lot, and I'm going to refer to it. The Burkina Faso team you coached had Jonathan Pitroipa, had Aristide Bans, and a couple of other players. I just want to know how a coach of your experience is able to bring, a very good working relationship in a team that has quality players, in relation to Uganda Cranes. How are you able to make sure these players are together, they have one goal? What's that you put in them? What's the difference?
First, of course, you talk about those players, but I also worked with Naby Keita from Liverpool, in Guinea with Traore from Chelsea. So I worked with a kind of big players. But the thing is, what's the most important thing? That the players, they get respect. And that you only can bring if you are give trainings and your tactics and your meetings on a level that you are used, and even a little bit more. So when they feel that you can teach them something, or if you can give them something extra, even I talk about 2, 3, 4, 5%, but it's a little bit more than in their clubs. Then you get respect. If you get respect, then you can work. But if you don't have respect of your players, it's very difficult. So therefore, it's always. I'm also a coach who is very demanding on my players, and offshore we have been seeing some trainings. I'm always on them, and I do a lot by myself. So I need this feeling, and I think this is respect they are giving me, and that's what you need to perform, because we are one team. But if you are a coach who doesn't have the respect of the players, or they don't have the belief in the coach, then it's very difficult.
All right, you talk about the players, and I was privileged to be at the press conference when you are extending your contract as the Uganda Cranes coach. Congratulations, by the way, coach.
Thank you.
You mentioned how crucial players played a role in you extending your stay as head coach of the Uganda Cranes. Just maybe try and elaborate just how much influence did your players, have on you staying as a Cranes coach?
It was, in a way, a nice feeling that I received messages from the players who were asking, please stay. We are building something. We are still not finished. We still have a future before us and things like that. So it was a good feeling, but also at the side of the federation, I have to tell you, to be honest, also the federation was behind that should stay. And also I think the supporters, because if I was also with the Chan team, when I came out on the field, they always have the applause. When I come on the field, they always greet me. When I come off, you know, this gives you good feelings, and that makes you feel that you work in a good atmosphere. And if you can work in a good atmosphere and they have the belief in you, then you can continue. If that's not, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. But I think all those factors were positive to make also my decision to make it very soon. And I appreciate always the supporters, players, also the federations, also the media. They were always positive. So I think it was good.
It was good combined. On the bit of the fans, I need to confess that not so many Cranes coaches have, in their era, come out to, first of all, call out on the fans to come and support the team, and then after appreciate them for supporting the team. So to just let you know, you won over so many hats as Cranes coach during the Afcon qualification campaign, Chan, and the World Cup qualification campaign. But coach, let's get to the Afcon qualification campaign. We've talked about the World Cup qualification campaign that had a bit of highs and lows, but also we had the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualification campaign played in a very short period. But again, the target was to help the team qualify or return to the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time since 2019. Well, it was a solid performance, should I say. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Of course, the loss coming on the final match day. What's your take home from that AFCON qualification campaign, as Coach Paul put?
When I came also with ambition. I don't want to sign in a country if I cannot exploit my ambition. And I always want to win, or always want to get prizes. I was lucky on that side. In the whole campaign I've been going through in Africa, I always had results. So also with the players, it's a matter of giving the confidence and in being prepared to play the game and try to do something and get the players above their level. That's important. If they can play above their level, then you can expect also things to see what you never saw before. And that also we were solid. We were one team. And that's always from the day one. Or when we come in training camp, we take it serious. Players are serious. And that makes it that we have been doing a good Afcon. For the qualifications for Afcon. So yes, it was a really good teamwork.
Any moment you can pick out from the games that we played that stood out for you as head coach from the qualification campaign of AFCON?
No, I think the game in South Africa, when we had 2-0 for South Africa with half time. Then I was really mad at the players because I couldn't feel and I didn't see my players who I had before. So I told them also, or we're going to play like men, or we're going to go off like children. So I said, but we have to believe and we have to go. And then that second half, even the coach is also a Belgian coach. He's a friend of mine, but he was congratulating me, also the players, because we did a marvelous second half
Yeah.
with a lot of intensity, two marvelous goals. You need always a luck on your side, but the thing was, we came out in a different way. And we came out with belief, and we came out, and I told them, I said, if we don't lose today, we will qualify it. So sometimes you have to give the boost to your players. If they have this in mind, then they can do something. If we can do it, if we can realize, then we go and we go for qualification. I think my words, and it's not the first time, they came true.
They inspired the boys. All right, coach. During this period as Cranes head coach, we've seen the team evolve. We've seen a couple of new faces that have been brought onto the team. Elio Caprodosi, Jordan Obita, Sibik, most recently. Baba Rahman was also included in the team, Uche Mobiru. And some of these faces, of course, have been welcomed very well by the fans. I think you've seen the fans appreciating Caprodosi at Nambole and all the others. My question would be, how are you able to get these players? How much involvement do you have as Paul put in looking out for players with Ugandan descent to play for the Cranes?
I can tell you it's not easy. And it was not easy because players like Obita, you can ask him by himself. I didn't have much the opportunity to talk to him. It was always with the manager. With Caprodosi, it was a little bit easier. Toby also, but with Jordan, it was very difficult. But at least you have to sometimes have to be patient, and then you have to tell them also, I cannot wait for that long. I said this yes or no, but it was not easy. It's not always easy to convince because we have still good young players and outside broad countries like England. But then the age, and they are dreaming to play for the national team of England. They are dreaming to play for the national team of Germany. So it's difficult. But anyway, I was very happy, but it has been taking a lot of energy, a lot of telephone calls, a lot of discussion to get Jordan. Oche, in the beginning, it was also hard because he had a lot of injuries. So at the moment that I was telling he would come, then the people said, we don't believe because he's always not coming. He says come, but he had always a reason. They were honest with me. So I fight a lot to get those players, but still, I want to have some players in the future for 2027, and I hope one day we can convince them. But it's also, you need sometimes the government, you need the president, you not always can do it alone. You need people with influence, people also who can go and meet a player, because when you face a player face to face, it's different than by the phone. So there is still a lot of work to do on this issue, but what we have at this moment, I think it's already not bad for Uganda.
Or maybe a quick one on Baba Rahman. What's the connection with Uganda? Because people were questioning and wondering. He's been leaning towards Ghana a lot, and he's playing in Europe. That's granted, but what's the connection there?
No, when I was in contact, somebody has been informing me to watch the player. So then we find out that he was born in Uganda, in Jinja. So then I was checking on them. I've been getting some contacts to get more information about the player. We followed a little bit on Wisecout, so he had a good performance. So then we said, let us try to get him on board and then see what he can bring in the friendly games. And then maybe for the future, because he still has a good age. So you can build on those kind of players.
Okay. In as much as we've had players of that quality come and perform so well, there's been a few question marks, and I'm sure as head coach you've had them. Some people have been saying it's okay for you to bring in Ugandans or players of Ugandan descent, but how about the local based players? You're the same person who's been trusting them, but maybe are you not trusting them more? I mean, there are questions of the mix up there. What would be your opinion on that?
But I'm going to tell you something,
Yes,
and
coach.
then you will understand.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm a coach who has been giving a lot of confidence on our local players,
100%
and
coach.
I follow them up, and I'm always be there. And I think I proved it also with the Chan, because it was not mentioned to do the Chan, but I did it because of the respect of the players, and the players they wanted me. But it's always difficult because from this day I came, if you see how many local players they went outside countries. Because now, if you talk about Semakula, he's playing outside. You about Siskali, he plays outside. Omidi, he plays outside. How many players?
Mato is outside.
Yes, from my when I came, Travis, he plays outside. You know, from the day I came, a lot of players had the opportunity, and it's because their performance. But now it's also difficult, and sometimes it takes also times because you have to work and you have to continue to watch your players, your local players. But I don't think they can say that I don't give the chance. So people have to see this. It's not that I don't give it the chance. And the thing is also with the local players, sometimes they need more time. And why they need more time? Because they don't play on that consistency like players who's playing in Europe.
Yeah, the stage.
Yes, and that's also infrastructure, the fields, because we are respecting a lot of our local players. But sometimes, if you see on which pitch they has to play in the weather conditions, that's not easy. So that's less in Europe. In Europe, you can perform more on your quality than in Uganda. So, and that is also playing a little bit. Also, if you see, and I don't give any critic, and every coach is the boss of his team. But a lot of players from the Chan team, they are not playing at the moment in the local competition. So
Yeah.
it complicates a
So
lot of
it's a
things.
balance.
Yes, it's a balance, and it's sometimes the patient and the timing and the right time. And also, we have to be honest. Some players are still young, and they need the patient, and they need to work hard. And one day they can also make it. But then is the thing when they come to the national team, then they go outside,
They
and then
leave.
they say you don't give the chance to our local players. That's not a correct picture.
Okay. As we leave the issue of players of Ugandan descent, for us to watch them train, watch them perform well for the Uganda Cranes, you are the one who talks to them more. Just how excited are they to wear the badge of Uganda, and how have they settled in? How have you been able to help them settle? It's not an easy thing for someone to just join a group of players who have known each other for a minute and they have to glide in and settle in. How have you been able to make sure that you have one big family with those players?
It all starts with respect and belief, and also if you can bring the belief in them, that they have to believe more in themselves, in the team, in everything, so that you grow as a team. I think, but the most factor is the discipline in the group, and also the respect and open conversation. I'm not a coach who goes into back. If I have to say, I will do it straight. Sometimes I cannot talk sometimes because I don't want at that moment, but then I will do it when we do the analyze and things like that. But they feel also that they are a good, we have a good team. And then I'm talk technical team, medical team. They are good support also, and we have a good team. Everybody is working for results. And that's, I think, what the players appreciate, that they also feel that they go forward and then they make progression. And also in their teams, they have opportunities to go to other teams. So, yes, it's a process, but I think it's a good process
It's a
at the
good
moment,
process.
yes.
All right. I'm going to take you back briefly when Uganda co-hosted Chan alongside Kenya and Tanzania. Maybe for the record, the Ugandan fans knew that Coach Molebie Kwaso was the head coach, but you are involved in the team preparations and planning and everything. How do you come into that mix? Because many thought it was only supposed to be Coach Mole. Then they see you on the team.
No, it was, I think, a request also from players.
Yeah.
And I always had people around the team. He said, "But the players they respect you so much, and please." So when we begin, because I had to prepare September, October. So if I prepare also international games, it's a lot of work. It's analyze about opponents, it's analyze of our games. You have to contact your players. I follow up more than 60 players outside the country. And then you follow your competition. So for me, it was also a very hectic period. But it was also around the team and that players were requesting. So I came in. And then I have also this passion. I feel good when I have the grass under my feet.
Oh,
And when I'm on the grass
yeah.
and I can see that players are responding, so it gives also the head coach was asking, the assistant coach was asking, please keep going, helping us. So it was not only because of the players, it's also the coaches were requesting, and when I see the response, that makes you good. But I can tell you, it was. From 26th of June, every day on the pitch from morning until night, because I had, like I said, to prepare September and October. It was not easy. It was really, really hard. But then, if you see the results, if you see how the progress, how players, individual, collective progress, yes, that makes it all good. Then you know you didn't do it for nothing. You did your efforts, and they were bringing something. And also, like I said, is always the respect of the players.
All right, coach, your take from that tournament. For the first time ever, Uganda made it out of the group stages of the Chan tournament. The fans, the excitement, the thrill. What do you take home from Chan 2024, and what do you think propelled your players to put up that show?
Yes, like I said, he have been performing very well, and you saw him growing every game. I saw the progress on training, the concentration, the motivation, everything was there. I had also to wake them up, a wake-up call, like I call it, to get everybody back concentrated. But I think it was very good because of their efforts and also their discipline that they made it very well. Unfortunately, I think if we had the luck from the game that we played against South Africa,
Yeah.
against Senegal, we would go further, because I think we deserved more a win against Senegal than the game against South Africa. But this is football. Sometimes you need that luck. But if I see with Senegal, I think they played also well. And if we had a little bit more luck, we could go for qualification for semi-final.
For semi-final, that would be a big one. From that point of Chan, I just want to ask you your assessment of the Uganda Premier League, because most of the players that featured in that tournament play in the UPL, a league that you watch quite often when you have time. What's your assessment of our league in Uganda compared to the countries you've been to? Is there an improvement? Do you see us getting better? Is there something we need to improve on? What's your take?
No, I think I saw a lot of improvements, and I want to thank also the boards of the clubs, the presidents, the CEOs, also the coaches, because in the 2 years I saw really improvement. It can be in system, it can be in approach of the game during the game. And I saw a lot of improvements. And you see also that the players improved. So that makes it for me also more easy. And I think now with that we organized the Chan,
Yeah.
I think we make a lot of steps forward. If you see in infrastructure, and now for 2027 again we are hosting, so we're gonna make more steps forward, and that's what Uganda needed. Also, we are not there, and we still have a way to go. But I think we are on the right track. And without good infrastructure, you can depend more. You can do more as a coach, as a team, as an individual, as a player. So I think I saw a lot of improvements, and I'm very happy in this situation.
All right, there is improvement, yes, but for the clubs that play on the continent, we've, as a country, always fallen short. In the Confederation Cup and in the CAF Champions League, maybe where should be the improvement be for those clubs? Because it's important for us to be in the group stages of these competitions.
Yes, I understand. But you have to understand also when I do a call for the national team, then you see players going out to other countries.
Yes.
That means that the team is losing one of key player, or more than one key player. So, and to replace it, sometimes it takes time, because sometimes you invest in younger players that it takes time, that they cannot perform at the same level than a player of 20 or 29 years old. So this is also a philosophy of the team. So, but it's always, if I see, okay, the results are maybe not there and we hope to do better, but I think you need patience, and I think they're on the good track. If I see also the progress in the teams, then I think also maybe there will be a time that he can get better players, or that he can get more time to get players, to have the time, to have the patience. And sometimes they have to release a player also financial. So it's always playing on results, but I think you need patience. The supporters need patience. I appreciate the efforts of the clubs, and it's not always easy, and also financial is not easy. But I saw, and that's my feeling, I see improvement.
The Afcon 2025 is just a few weeks away, Coach Paul Put, and you're someone who is so familiar to this territory. You were in the 2013 Afcon final with Burkina Faso against Nigeria, and I think in 2019, as we're supporting the Cranes, you're on the touchline for Guinea. How excited are you about leading Uganda back to the Afcon since 2019, as Coach Paul put?
It's satisfaction, because it's the biggest tournament. And also now in Morocco, we have to be honest, I've been going to a lot of African Cup of Nations, but Morocco will be the top, I think. If you see the stadiums, infrastructure, the organization, it's top. So you cannot compare with I was qualified in Guinea-Bissau, with all the respect. You cannot compare. So, and it's always, it's the whole world is watching you. The cameras are on you. I told always the players, one time you reach there, then it's up to you. It can change your life forever. It can bring your luck, everything. So you have to take those chances in your hands. But it's always a very tough, a very hard competition. You need the luck with the injuries, certainly on the side like Uganda. Like now we are in trouble, because we went to play friendly games. But if you saw, if we are missing 6, 7 of our key players,
We're going to get to that, coach.
it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. I know you right now. You're not in a situation of revealing what Ugandans should expect, but from your office, just how are the preparations? What percentage are we on? And just how ready can your team be by 21st of December?
It all depends a little bit, because we have some problems with injuries at the moment, like Mato. So we are following up, and I hope that we can get Mato here for treatment, or in Belgium. We have Jude, who has facing problems. So we had Capradosing, but normally it will not be a problem. We will be there. The Salim will also be there. There will be no problem. But we had some injuries, and if it's getting together, then it's very difficult. But I hope they will be all fit and they will be in a good shape, because also that will be important. Players who are not in competition and you have to play on that level, then it's very hard. It's very hard, and I hope that our players will play and that they are fit for 200%.
And the preparations, camp, and all that.
In every country is it's a little bit different, because normally I should do a pre-camp, what I do in every country, but that's more when you're invited at State House for the flag.
Yeah, flag off and
Yes, but I understand that it will not be happening in Uganda, but in Guinea it was like that, in
Senegal.
Burkina, in every country. So we don't do the pre-camp, so then we go straight to Morocco, and we do the assembly at the 8th and the 9th of December, because there's still competition. And now we are just seeing if we're going to start in Casablanca or in Marrakesh. It depends how many teams they were preparing over there. But we are on it, and I can tell you the NTO we have is a really guy who's working day and night, so he's on it. He made the contacts also. He knows what I want. I've been doing the program with the wishes also with one or two international friendly games before we start, and also my preference to go in training camp, because I'm 20 years almost in Africa, and I prepared all the time all the teams in Morocco, even when I was in Belgium. So I know them very well, and I know what we can expect, and the infrastructure, also the food and everything is normally always top. So that's important to prepare a team. But that's our planning, and I think we'll have a meeting in the coming days with the CEO to finalize these things, because I have a lot of requests for the team, for the conditions of the team, but I already discussed it, and now we have to finalize some things.
All right, coach. Thank you for that insight on the preparations for the team ahead of the tournament. We're in Group C, alongside Nigeria, Tunisia, Tanzania, our neighbors, and ourselves. You led Burkina Faso to the final. You probably will have one or two ideas of how far or what a team should do to perform at that highest level. How are you going to try and make sure that your team, the Cranes, go past the round of 16, which they last went to in 2019? What do we have to do different to perform at Afcon?
I always said to go far in the tournament, you may not consider. If you're not consider, then you have the chance to win the game or to play match null, or give you opportunities, and maybe at that point when the match null, it can make the difference. But you may not consider. That's very important. So that means you need a good organization. And I think in every game we played, we always have been creating chances. I am not saying that we are scoring very easy, because that's also a working point and it's difficult. But at least if we want to go far, then we may not consider. And if you were going to see to Tunisia, they didn't last for 16, 17 games. So it's a very organized team. They have a lot of quality, experienced players. Now Nigeria, for World Cup, you saw them. It's also a strong team with a lot of players. But you have to have the belief. And I think also the first game, the first result is also important. If you don't lose, then it gives you also the motivation and the confidence. But not considering in a tournament is very important.
In an interview you did with the CAF website, if I can quote you, you stress that the Cranes need to work as a team and they need to believe in themselves at the tournament. Maybe just expound on that.
I know that all the players will be excited to be in the selection.
Yeah.
I know that they all wants to perform and to play for their country. That I know, but we have to be realistic in tournaments. Certainly on that level, it's not only the will, but it's also the intelligence of the player, and that is also a thing that we have is a working point, but that you can have when you have players with more maturity, more experience, then automatically you find this in your team. But football is so complicated, and it's not only the engagement on the field. There's a lot of things. The moment of a decision, that's nothing where you can train on. That's not what you can discuss in the dressing room. This is the moment. At that feeling, in 1 second, the player has to make a decision, and it hopefully in a good decision who can make the difference, you know. So it's a lot of things who's coming and what you need, and you need that luck. But if we can have a good result in the first game, then why not?
I'm bringing back the question that you wanted to break down before I asked. We played against Morocco. Of course, we had two friendly games against Chad and against Morocco. And the team lost 4-0 against Morocco. What do you take home from that performance?
We were missing a lot of, let's say, key players or players who have been playing the last 4, 5, 6 games. And you know, a team, what's important in a team is the automatism when you see that you are used to play with each other, that in offensive way, in defensive way, that they understand each other. So in your play also with some new players, it makes always a different in mindset. Tactically, you cannot bring this in a couple of days. But the thing is, the lesson, and what I'm a little bit worried about is we have to see the facts. We were too short in the duels. And it's not because I also received compliments and I was not satisfied with the game, with the performance, but still I received compliments on the side from Morocco, also players from Morocco national team and others who have been saying the game. We had that will and we had opportunities, but then we cannot keep the ball, or we cannot hold the ball, or we cannot make, and that was the difference with Morocco. They were in every duel more strong than us. So if you go and play Afcon, then you know that power will be very important. And if you see the profile of the players like Tunisia, if you see the profile of Nigeria or Congo, or if you see the profile of the players, Algeria, even the game in Algeria, it was very tough for us. But this is the reality, and that's what my players has to understand. It's a question of if do we have the force, and can we have the force? Because I said it's not that they don't want, because the will is there. I feel in how they train, and sometimes I tell the players, if I see you training, I have a good feeling that you can do it, but in the game is sometimes different. But if you play with a lot of younger players, or with players who are not used to playing the team, it's difficult. Certainly if you have to face like Morocco team. So therefore it will be good that we at least can prepare for 2 weeks, that we also can play friendly, 1 or 2 friendlies, because we have, like I said, it's important not to consider, but we considered against Morocco and we considered against Algeria. That's a fact. But that's most of the time with the power of the players and the maturity of the players. Yeah. So we have to set up something that we can at least not consider.
Use and try and make sure that we don't concede.
That's and that's now the question, and then you need strong.
Your squad has a bit of experience. Khalid Aucho, Dennis Onyango now, maybe Kaprodosi here and there. My question now goes to the return of Dennis Onyango to the national team. He was welcomed by so many Ugandan fans who thought that his addition and his experience plays a huge role. But where did this whole talk of Dennis Onyango returning come from your perspective as Paul put?
No, I started learning better during the champ, because he was helping in the first weeks to help by the goalkeeper coaching. So then I have been thinking that because he has a very good reputation, he's loved by the public, and he has the experience, he has the maturity, he was a performing player. So I said we have to use his knowledge, and we have to use his expertise in the team. And I think when we discussed it with the president, he agreed also. It was also his opinion to think about it. And I think for the future for Uganda, it's important to have somebody in your dressing room because, okay, you can have your captain on the field, but you need also a captain on the bench or in the dressing room. And I think the combination with Dennis is perfect and the players respect him. So I think for the future for Uganda, it's not bad that he is in the group.
Your backroom staff, you've always, spoken profoundly about them, explained how much they've helped you perform so well. Have you managed to have that mix up of the backroom staff? Your assistant is Sam Simbwa. How is the relationship with him and the rest of the backroom staff that you have in the Cranes team?
Like I said, I'm a coach who takes a lot in my own hands. So our understanding is normal. So I don't say anything about that. But I know I'm very disciplined. I'm very organized. And if I start training camp on the training, I have to do a lot by my hands. So I'm used to do this. And
You're a hands-on coach.
yes, but that's also some did not understand because I said you can give this to
So and so.
there's a guy, coach or this on that coach, and then you observe. But I say I need this feeling with the players, and as long that I can do it, and as long that my players accept and I can feel, because if you have a coach and who is on the players, they respect.
Yeah, there's respect, yes.
But with all respect for assistant coaches and things like that, but normally they cannot bring this on the field with the players, and we don't have time to lose. So therefore, I'm in the neck, and that's also how I am. And I cannot sleep. I cannot be happy if I'm not on them. So, but in the environment, we have a normal.
You have a normal.
Yes, relationship. We talk with each other, and now of course for Afcon it will be more because we're gonna reinforce a little bit our staff, because I know from experience it's working time from morning till night. And there are so many things that comes to you that you have to be very, very well organized. Sometimes you have to anticipate. Also, the rules with your members, with your staffs, has to be there, has to be respectful, not only the players, but you have to manage 45, 50 people. So and we cannot afford that somebody is not following the instructions there and there. So therefore, we're going to reinforce a little bit, and hopefully with the best of the outcome of the.
So you're confirming that you're going to beef the team up a bit. Are they still going to come from Belgium, or are they from Uganda?
No, there will be people from Uganda.
Okay.
Yes, and there will be a changement in the medical staff from Belgium.
All right, coach. The under-17 team is just back from the under-17 World Cup in Qatar. They reached the round of 16 and got so many Ugandans excited with how they played football. Coach Brian Senyonda and his technical team. What do you pick from that performance overall?
First of all, I'm very happy for the performance, and I think Uganda has a great future. Because if you see with the under-17 the performance, with the under-20 the performance, you cannot deny that there is no quality, there is no talent in Uganda. And also, I was very happy with the results because it's talking everywhere. Also, I received calls from Europe concerning some players and things like that. So it's always a good thing. So now the thing is how you're going to manage these young players.
I was going to ask you, how do we manage those players?
This is the question, and that's more the questions of the teams. Like I said, when I came, the under-20 was performing very well. They had very good results, but we didn't see any player, almost not any player in the first league in Uganda. So now with the under-17, we have some talent players. Will they receive the chance to play in the local competition in Premier League? And then the second thing is how they gonna progress because it's a difficult age. So I can imagine, and that's always sometimes the problems. The environment makes the player crazy, and to leave him straight with the feet on the ground, and to be disciplined and to be professional. So the lifestyle around these players will be very, very, very important. And that's things, of course, the parents are responsible, but I know in Africa how it works because you have the parents, you have the grandparents, you have the uncles and the tanties, and
and,
everybody is
and they all
involved.
want to have a say.
Yes, everybody's involved. But now you have to be realistic, and
Yes.
now he has to be professional. And how he's going to be a professional? And that's most of the time you have a lot of talent players, young age, who cannot break through because of these issues. And now I think with the clubs, if they give him the chances, if they're gonna be very disciplined with the player, if the player also has a good management around him, it will be very important.
As we conclude this interview, what would be your final message maybe to the people who have been around you, the federation, the funds, and the government? Just how much have the government done to make sure that you're comfortable and you're doing your job according to where you're seated?
Yes, I don't have words enough, I think, to thank everyone because it's a nation.
Yeah.
And I know it's not only the federation who can manage all those national teams, you need also the government. And I have to be honest, I received very kindly words of the Minister of Sports, who was praising me before the players, who was also sending me messages, and who was also very happy that I stayed. So I know everyone's efforts I have to thank. And I also have to thank, of course, our supporters. We have the federation, we have the government, but also our supporters who are behind the team. If you see the ambience they bring in the beginning or now, it's a big difference. Stages are full. They wear the shirts, they wear the colors. Also, before the game, there is excitement. If we win, there is party time, it's all those things. But no, it's in general, I have to thank, and I have not enough words to thank everyone.
All right. Coach, thank you so much for coming on pitch side. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We've had a very long chat with the Uganda Cranes head coach, Mr. Joseph Paul Put, who was the immediate task of guiding the Uganda Cranes to the Afcon 2025 in Morocco. Now, I know we're going to have a lot of responses, but guys, pray for pitch side. When we are in Morocco and Mr. Ahmed Hussein grants us another interview, whatever questions you'll have, we'll pass them on to the coach. I hope you'll have a minute when we are in Morocco when he's, training the team and preparing for everything. Otherwise, as always, keep it pitch side and subscribe and keep it low. Cheers.